Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the greatest animated films for adults. We'll be getting into spoilers for various movies, so consider this your warning. Number 30, Predator Killer of Killers. Not only does this animated anthology treat us to a catalog of interesting stories, but it also pretty much revives the Predator franchise from the ground up. Killer of Killers shows us 3 distinct tales of people trying to kill a predator. The real kicker is that each story takes place in a different historical era, which means the possibilities for what can happen are endless. We see predators go up against Vikings, samurai, fighter pilots, and never once does it lose our attention. It's incredibly gory, taking the violence that fans are used to seeing in this franchise to a completely different level through its animation. It's inventive, exciting, and absolutely brutal. Number 29, 9. There's a lot about 9 that's unsettling, making it feel much more mature than you'd expect. The story revolves around a sentient ragdoll who wakes up in a post-apocalyptic future where others like him are hunted by murderous machines. There's not much else out there like this. The visuals are stunning, the atmosphere is moody, and the tone is bleak. 9 deals with intense subject matter and forces you to look at who's left standing after the end of the world. It's a haunting film. Sure, you can see it with your family, but you might want to sleep with a nightlight on after. Number 28, Barefoot Gen.
やれやれ。うわっ、どうしたんじゃ。しっかりするんじゃ。死んどる。
It's no secret that World War II deeply affected Japan, but seeing the crisis play out from the perspective of a young child makes the situation all the more terrifying. Barefoot Gen follows Gen Nakaoka, a young boy directly impacted by the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. The film expertly depicts the devastating effects of war. It goes into painstaking detail to show how much destruction the atomic bomb created and how it utterly destroyed Gen's life. It's easy to look back at historical tragedies like numbers on a page, but this movie doesn't gloss over the pain. Barefoot Gen makes us see the consequences of war on everyday citizens and reminds us just how severe these historical events are. Number 27, Fantastic Planet. The world of Ega might seem like a wonderful place, but it's got some real problems hidden underneath the surface. The planet is dominated by a species of giant blue aliens called the Drags, who keep humans, whom they call Ohms, as house pets. However, tensions escalate between the two when one of these humans starts to get smart. Fantastic Planet is jam-packed with all sorts of trippy visuals that make it one heck of a viewing experience. But it doesn't just have style, it's got substance too. It shows us what rebellion looks like and how systematic oppression creates anger. The complex themes it explores and its depictions of violence make it clear that the movie's not for the faint of heart. Number 26, Beavis and Butthead Do America. Cool. When these two doofuses try to replace their stolen TV, they end up going on a wild journey where they accidentally become hitmen. This movie is an entertaining and star-studded adventure that makes sure to keep you laughing. It's not just all jokes though, it's also a pretty good satire of America, which hasn't exactly gotten smarter since 1996.
Let's just pray that nothing hits that unit.
Ow! Ow! Cut it out, butthead! Get out of the way, Beowulf. I want to sit by the window.
So, the film still holds up well now. Adult animation doesn't have to just be serious stories and gritty violence. It can be crude humor and over-the-top spectacles. That's exactly what this cinematic Beavis and Butthead adventure is all about, although the film is smarter than it seems.
Are you threatening me? I am Cornholio.
Number 25, Isle of Dogs.
It's a pile of broken eggshells and old smushed up rotten gizzard with maggots all over it.
Okay, it's worth it.
Wes Anderson's distinguished cinematic flair has changed the landscape of movies, and not just live-action ones. His animated films, like Isle of Dogs, share his typical tone and usual quirks. The movie's about a young boy who tries to find his dog after an entire group of them is sent to live in a place called Trash Island, following the spread of a dangerous canine flu.
Mayor Kobayashi of Uni Prefecture issues emergency orders, calling for a hasty quarantine.
Despite revolving around animals, this isn't exactly a family-friendly movie. It has loads of distinctly unsettling visuals and deals with some heavy stuff, such as prejudice and politics. The dogs are marginalized and isolated. Seeing that play out on the screen isn't easy. While the dogs may be cute, the situations they go through are ugly. Number 24, Beowulf.
I shall make you the greatest king that ever lived.
Beowulf has a distinct visual style in the vein of Robert Zemeckis' other motion capture films. Unlike The Polar Express or A Christmas Carol though, this animated film isn't for the whole family. It's a retelling of the classic Beowulf poem, covering the famed warrior's battle to slay Grendel, as well as the aftermath of that journey.
Mine is strength and lust and power! I am Beowulf!
If you're into epic action, then this movie is perfect for you, even if that's not quite your speed. Don't worry, there's still plenty of juicy drama to keep you on the edge of your seat. In short, Beowulf not only adapts a famous piece of literature, but also changes things enough to keep things fresh. Number 23, It's Such a Beautiful Day.
Bill's mother put a heavy coat over him whenever he left the house, for fear that he might fall victim to something called walking pneumonia.
Stick figures are works of art. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Speaking of stick figures, they're the focus of this Don Hertzfeldt movie. It's Such a Beautiful Day revolves around Bill, who navigates life amidst memory problems and other health issues. This is a very experimental project that plays around with its narrative and messes around with the tone. One moment could be funny, while the next is a complete gut punch.
His stepfather stormed to the door, where he turned his face up towards a hole in the ceiling and yelled, "I just can't handle this goddamned woman," and left.
The film has garnered incredible critical acclaim. It's so popular that it's widely considered one of the greatest movies in animation. That's pretty high praise, but it's well deserved. This isn't just a quirky cartoon. It's a meditation on life and death, and a film that'll absolutely move you to tears.
You will only get older. The next thing you know, you're looking back instead of forward.
Number 22, Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Did you ever wonder why we had to run for shelter when the promise of a brave new world unfurled beneath the clear blue sky?
The Wall is a wild adaptation of Pink Floyd's album of the same name. It largely tells the story of a rock star named Pink and his turbulent past. Though this technically has a mixture of both animation and live action, the animated parts elevate the movie. The surreal musical drama is loaded with symbolism, namely with the wall itself. The trippy film essentially implies that it's a barrier Pink used to shield himself from the world after the death of his father. The movie clearly has a lot to say. As a result, it can get pretty intense and bizarre for audiences. Behind all of the darkness and the absurdity is ultimately a story about someone trying to reconcile with himself.
Crazy over the rainbow, I'm crazy.
Number 21, Procepilus.
When you run, your rear end jiggles. It's what you call immodest.
Well, then stop staring at my butt!
How do you maintain who you are when the culture around you is dangerously shifting into something else entirely? That's a problem that Marjan Marji Satrapi had to figure out how to solve. Based on the acclaimed autobiographical comic book, Procepilus chronicles the life of a young girl growing up in the 1970s during the Iranian Revolution. It's a turbulent time where dynasties are toppled, political systems are changed, and families are radically affected.
To behave shamelessly is to trample on the blood of all those who sacrificed their lives for our freedom. That is why I ask all the women present here today to refrain from wearing wide-legged pants and makeup.
Marji's story is a deeply personal one. The movie does an exceptional job of portraying it. The cultural landscape changes, and as it does, so does she. Coming-of-age stories are hardly anything new. However, seeing Marji grow up in Iran during this challenging time is a truly eye-opening experience.
I just don't understand why, as a woman, you don't think I'd be affected by the sight of men in skin-tight pants, yet you're worried they'll get turned on by a few less inches of veil?
Number 20, The Animatrix.
Is it important? Very. I hope it gets where it's supposed to go.
Me too.
These days you never know.
No, you never do.
Being PG-13, one might assume this anthology is more restrained than the live-action Matrix films. Yet, The Animatrix contains some of the most graphic imagery in the franchise, especially the Second Renaissance Part 1, where heads are as smashable as pumpkins. As gritty as intense as the imagery is, The Animatrix is nothing short of visually stimulating, covering a range of genres and styles.
And man said, "Let there be light." And he was blessed by light, heat, magnetism, gravity, and all the energies of the universe.
The film isn't style over substance, however. Where some segments are heavy on world building, others tell smaller scale, more personal stories. Either way, you can expect them to emphasize the ideas and philosophies this series is known for. We don't think it's a hot take to say it's the second best Matrix movie after the original.
How do they know that the real world isn't just another simulation? How do you?
Well, I know I'm not dreaming now because I know what it's like being in a dream.
Number 19, The Plague Dogs. Director Martin Rosen is best known for Watership Down, which predated the PG-13 rating and has thus scarred children for generations. Rosen's next adaptation of a Richard Adams novel, The Plague Dogs, would retroactively be rated PG-13, but even that feels lenient.
Why do they do it, Snitter? I'm not a bad dog.
I don't think they do it because they think you're bad, Ralph.
This harrowing story follows two dogs who escape from a torture chamber posing as a research lab. While Snitter and Rolf were subjected to unspeakable cruelty, nature isn't much more forgiving. To survive, the animals must become, well, animals. Considering how the white coats treated them, we may be the real animals. Even with several scenes cut from the US release, Plague Dogs is uncompromisingly bloody and brutal, but also thought-provoking in its portrayal of how the animal world views the human world.
It's our island. Don't you see it? That's where we have to go. We can be free.
Number 18, Aquacine Hunger Force: movie film for theaters. This big screen version of the hit Adult Swim show sets a tone with its title alone. Even then, few could have anticipated the opening when the Let's All Go to the Lobby snacks are bombarded by a heavy metal band, who proclaim that even if you walk out, your money's theirs now. That said, we could imagine some adults heading for the exit, specifically those who weren't raised on this brand of irreverent humor. For those well acquainted with the Aquatines, Moonanites, Plutonians, and Carl, this feature is a laugh riot that raises the stakes while undermining the plot at every turn.
No. I know you're talking about. Don't worry about it. Hey, look! A caterpillar!
Oh, wait.
Where's this caterpillar?
Just, keep looking.
As for kids, let's just say they might not be ready for this material, or the substances some adults will bring into the theater. Number 17, When the Wind Blows. Jimmy T. Murakami's film adaptation of Raymond Briggs' graphic novel might not seem strictly adult-oriented at first glance. The film invites the viewer in with a cozy style that blends hand-drawn and stop-motion techniques, almost calling a pop-up book to mind.
If a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well, James.
Yes, dear, but it is only temporary. After all,
It'll all be over in a flash.
Jim and Hilda blogs are delightful central characters, even when they're talking about the prospects of a nuclear holocaust. By the second act, though, this nuclear attack is no longer theoretical. Jim and Hilda carry us through the hardships with their optimism and love for each other, leading us to believe the worst is behind them.
You won't have to worry about a thing. The powers that be will get to us in the end.
I hope they come soon, dear. I'm not feeling very well.
Alas, this is only the beginning. When the Wind Blows is a descent from denial to acceptance as we powerlessly watch a married couple succumb to fallout. Number 16, Heavy Metal. For anyone who thinks animation is just for kids, Heavy Metal is a rite of passage. That's not to say Heavy Metal isn't an immature film. It is, with over-the-top violence and gratuitous nudity for the sake of gratuitous nudity. For anyone who was ever a rebellious teenager, though, few films better encapsulate our wildest daydreams.
I'm taking it all. Pull over.
Are you sure this is what you want?
Positive.
Capturing the spirit of the magazine that inspired it, this anthology is an 80s time capsule with the highest of high fantasy, the punkiest of steampunk, and a rock and roll sound. It's a product of the time, but that's why Heavy Metal has endured.
The power of evil is contained for another generation. And a new Terrakian is born to protect.
Over 4 decades later, it still serves as a gateway to adult animation and an inspiration for modern anthologies like Love, Death, and Robots. Number 15, Ghost in the Shell. Speaking of gateways, Ghost in the Shell was an entry point for many in terms of anime and adult animation.
Your body's almost completely human. If we all reacted the same way, we'd be predictable, and there's always more than one way to view a situation.
At the time, Japanese animation was gaining a reputation for being more violent and sexualized than what most Westerners were used to. Even a fair deal of kid-friendly anime had to be censored for those sensitive North Americans. Ghost in the Shell was introduced to the US with a hard R rating, keeping its kinetic violence and sex-positive portrayal of the female form intact. While this made the film not suitable for children, its meditation on humanity, technology, and identity made Ghost in the Shell adult.
This might be our last chance to get the Puppet Master. The Chief knows what it is now, and he'll only use it to bargain with. I'll never have another chance to dive into it.
What? You've lost me. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
It not only ushered in a new age of more adult animation, but smarter sci-fi films as well. Number 14, 999. From the stunning establishing shot, director Tatia Rosenthal immerses us in a stop-motion world that's so simple, yet so layered. A couple of bucks can only take you so far in this world. At the same time, opening your wallet can make all the difference.
If it's not enough, I'll go with you to an ATM, but please don't kill me. I have 2 children.
Man, relax. I was just gonna ask you for $1 for coffee. I wasn't robbing you. This isn't even mine.
For less than 10 bucks, you may even learn the meaning of life. At least that's what an ad reads. $9.99 doesn't spell out the meaning of life, or even the movie's meaning. Through a series of interlocking stories, however, we experience life at its most mundane and its most surreal. In short, the film is about life itself, and the best things in life are free. Of course, a ticket is worth the price of admission.
No, life is supposed to be full of joy and sorrow. It's just that the joy part.
Don't say that. Let's just do something fun.
Number 13, American Pop.
He's going right away, Charlie. Charlie, he'll keep his eyes closed, he won't see nothing. His ears closed, he won't hear nothing, won't breathe nothing, won't drink nothing. You get nothing of value, he'll pay nothing.
Ralph Bakshi is synonymous with adult animation, and American Pop is among his most mature films. When we say mature, we're not talking about sex, drugs, and violence, although all three are present here. American Pop may be Bakshi's most thematically mature film, chronicling the lives of a Russian Jewish immigrant family across 4 generations. Accompanied by a banger soundtrack, we not only experience the evolution of music throughout the decades, but also this family's pursuit of the American dream.
Aren't you gonna finish the song? You can't make any money if you don't finish the song.
Oh, don't you know I don't need no money?
In addition to the past and present, you can argue that American Pop looks to the future. 6 months after its debut, MTV launched, giving birth to the music video generation. American Pop has the essence of an epic music video backed by a timeless story. Number 12, Waking Life. Primarily known for live action, Richard Linklater has helmed several rotoscope films aimed at older audiences. A Scanner Darkly gained a passionate cult following, but many consider Waking Life to be his masterpiece. In animation circles, rotoscoping is divisive, with some writing it off as glorified tracing.
You know how they say that there's still 6 to 12 minutes of brain activity after everything else is shut down? and the second of dream consciousness, right? Well, that's infinitely longer than a waking second.
While live-action footage was shot first, the visuals were still digitally drawn frame by frame, with the artist adding a surreal touch. However you categorize it, we can't think of a better method to tell a story that blends reality, dreams, and everything in between. The film transports you to another plane of consciousness, where even if you don't understand every image or conversation, the experience is as engrossing as a dream you don't want to wake up from.
All of life is like, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you. And then ultimately it's, yes, I give in. Yes, I accept. Yes, I embrace.
Number 11, Mary and Max. Director Adam Elliott's work is perhaps best summed up as whimsically bleak. This unusual marriage of tones is on full display in Elliott's Mary and Max. The film's limited color palette reflects the themes of depression, isolation, and other facets of mental health.
There's something I have to tell you, which will explain why I have not written. Each time I received one of your letters, I had a severe anxiety attack.
While few would describe it as a feel-good movie, there's an abundance of charm to be unearthed. From the offbeat character designs to Elliott's quirky screenplay, we'd say that it's bittersweet, but the film is never 100% bitter or sweet. It is ultimately life-affirming, though, demonstrating the importance of friendship, no matter how unlikely. Although the relationship between the titular pen pals can seem inappropriate, one being much older than the other, it stems from a place of sincerity.
But her excitement suddenly dribbled away, like a chocolate in the sun.
Number 10, Waltz with Bashir. Ari Folman's film is unlike any war documentary we've ever seen before. We aren't merely saying that because it's animated, although this does help to distinguish it. What stands out about Waltz with Bashir is its subject matter.
יש לי רק תמונה אחת משם, ואיכשהו אתה נמצא בתמונה הזאת. איזו תמונה?
The film revolves around the 1982 Lebanon War, as well as the Sabra and Shatila massacre. Yet, it's more about memories. When you think about it, that's what every documentary essentially is, a reflection on past events. Some people have photographic memories. In Folman's case, some memories are clear, others are distorted, and a select few might be forever erased by trauma.
בחיים ואני לא זוכר אותו בכלל.
זה מצבים דיסוציאטיביים, שבן אדם נמצא באיזושהי סיטואציה, אבל הוא מרגיש שהוא מחוץ לסיטואציה. למשל...
While the animators hauntingly recreate Folman's living nightmares, this is one of the most psychological war documentaries, presenting PTSD through a whole new lens. Number 9, I Lost My Body. I Lost My Body is about separation in more ways than one. After interacting with a woman over an intercom, Naufel becomes determined to meet her properly, although his methods are questionable.
And when it blows really hard, when there's a lot of wind, I can feel the building swaying. I don't know. It feels like
the whole world is drunk.
Naufel grows more detached after losing his hand in a freak accident. If you think that sounds morbid, the hand develops a mind of its own, determined to find its way back to Naufel. What ensues is right out of a survival movie, with an urban playground proving every bit as deadly as the wild. While some may cringe and faint at the sight of the hand, we surprisingly come to care for the severed body part as an individual. What's lost can't always be found, but it can forge a new path.
Come on, open the door. Okay. If you need anything.
Number 8, I Married a Strange Person. A strange film by a strange person, and we mean that as the highest of compliments to director Bill Plimpton.
Some very strange things have been happening.
You know, men, they have certain needs.
No, I mean really bizarre things.
This indie animated film was only produced for $250,000, but it overflows with Plimpton's signature twisted humor and style. We use the word twisted for a variety of reasons, namely because Plimpton has a knack for animating transformations. His skills are perfectly suited for a story about a man who can change people and objects with the power of his mind, although he can't always control what pops into his head. This puts a strain on his marriage, with reality itself also potentially in jeopardy.
How'd you get to be so hot? Did you pop out on the spot?
Hello.
For those unfamiliar with Plimpton's work, I Married a Strange Person is a gateway down his demented rabbit hole. Number 7, Perfect Blue. With films like Millennium Actress and Paprika, the late Satoshi Kon left the audience constantly wondering what's real and what's a dream. This theme traces back to his feature-length debut, Perfect Blue, one of the most disturbing animated films we've ever watched.
Mimirin! Here, take this!
Thank you!
I'm always watching Mima's room!
As shocking as the imagery is, that's only part of what makes this thriller so unsettling. Centered on a young celebrity being stalked, the terror stems just as much from what we don't see. As the protagonist begins to question her sanity, we're left with a query sure to make anyone's skin crawl. Would you rather be the target of a malevolent outsider or a victim of an inescapable enemy within? It's a question most are afraid to even ask.
No, I'm the real thing.
Number 6, Sausage Party.
You and me, finally gonna be official.
I'm so happy the gods put our packages together.
It's because we belong together.
It's like we were made for each other.
We'd like to think that at least one absent-minded parent put on Sausage Party for their kid, assuming it was a Pixar movie, and left the room. Then later, over a hot dog dinner, the kid said, "Mommy and/or Daddy, I'm not sure I'm comfortable putting my Frank inside a bun anymore." If you think that sounds explicit, then you aren't prepared for this film's unfiltered glory. Seth Rogen and company set out to make a CG animated film that appeared family-oriented on the surface, but in reality was strictly for the adult crowd.
What, do you want?
Let's just say what I want involves much more than just the tips.
As unapologetically lowbrow as Sausage Party is, it's also a clever satire, not just of other CG animated films, but religion as well. We guess you could call this the anti-VeggieTales. Number 5, Anomalisa. For a film with full frontal puppets, Anomalisa is much deeper than you may expect. Sex, nudity, and profanity might have earned it an R rating, but that's not purely why. Anomalisa isn't aimed at kids. Charlie Kaufman and Duke Johnson's film depicts a midlife crisis in a way that only stop motion can convey.
Listen, do you feel that you changed? I mean, do you feel that you changed?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Like in any way, did you change?
Protagonist Michael Stone works as a motivational speaker, despite being overcome with loneliness and self-loathing. As everyone else in Michael's orbit blends in with one another, the ordinary Lisa stands out. Lisa seems like an anomaly, although at the end of the day, this chance encounter is an anomaly that can't be sustained.
Everything's fine,
I know. I'm not great to look at in bright sunlight.
No, you're very pretty.
This portrait of middle-aged life is grim, but being a Charlie Kaufman production, it's awe-inspiring even at its most depressing. Number 4, Grave of the Fireflies. Studio Ghibli makes movies for everyone, but some lean more adult than others. Any older Ghibli fan will tell you Grave of the Fireflies makes Princess Mononoke look like My Neighbor Totoro. Ironically, Totoro and Fireflies were released in Japan as a double feature. Although both center on young siblings, one awakens your inner child, while the other forces the viewer to grow up.
Papa and the little ones, the kids.
Stop it! Don't you realize that there's a war going on?
Sadly, Seita and Setsuko can't grow up. We're not giving too much away, as the film is upfront about where the story will end. That doesn't make the experience any less devastating. While there is a light at the end of the tunnel, you can only rewatch Isao Takahata's films so many times, yet it sticks with you forever.
The whole fleet's been sent to the bottom of the sea, not one left afloat.
What? Was my dad's ship sunk too? Please tell me! Is that why he hasn't written?
Number 3, Fritz the Cat. To give you an idea of where animation was in the 70s, the decade kicked off with Disney's The Aristocats. 2 years later, Ralph Bakshi gave us a very different film about another cat.
And me, a writer, and a poet who should be having adventures and experience in all the diversities and paradoxes and ironies of life, and passing over all the roads of the world.
Fritz the Cat, based on cartoonist R. Crumb's creation. While the definition of adult animation has evolved over time, Fritz was a turning point, being the first American animated feature to be rated X. So even with a parent, no kid was getting in the theater. Although the film was remembered for an infamous bathtub scene, Fritz was perhaps even more influential with its topical commentary and how its dialogue captured youth culture at the time.
Yeah. The love you give is equal to the love you get.
It set a tone for everything that followed, including Bakshi's next feature, Heavy Traffic. Number 2, South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Parents have been against South Park since its earliest episodes, which honestly feel tame compared to later ones. Art imitated life with this feature, which sees parents literally go to war over profanity while turning a blind eye to the bloodshed they're exposing their children to.
You can do it, it's all up to you, Uncut.
With a little plan, you can change your life today.
Even more than 20 years after its release, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut still holds multiple milestones, including the Guinness World Record for most swearing in an animated movie. Like the show that inspired it, there's much more to the film than foul language. Trey Parker and Matt Stone take on censorship with their signature wit, infectious songs, and an attitude that doesn't care who gets offended. It's not suitable for children, but maybe they should sneak into the theater anyway.
What a happy end! Americans and Canadians are friends again. So let's all join hands and knock oppression down!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Akida. Akida wasn't the first adult animated feature. In North America, though, animation's perception can essentially be divided into two eras, before and after Akida. For many, Kazuhiro Otomo's magnum opus was an eye-opener, revealing just how gritty yet profound the medium can be.
そのアキラってのはどこにいるんだ？
何？
京子が言ったんだ。お前がアキラ君を起こすって。そうしたらもう誰にも止められないんだ。
The imagery ranges from gorgeous to grotesque, and you'd be surprised by how often the two cross over. For years, when someone said adult animation, Akira was the film that immediately came to mind. The market is more saturated now, but no film has managed to top its cultural impact. Akira showed Westerners a whole realm of animation waiting to be discovered and expanded upon. Just as Tetsuo transcends humanity, Akira took animation to the next step in evolution.
哲夫君は
行っちまった。Are there any other classics in adult animation that we missed? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, okay, I can do that, but this is a boy's bite, okay? So it can't be, not to invalidate your intuition, but it's not possible.